All right, ladies and gentlemen, in this class, I'm going to talk about the intro to bot trading for day traders. And we're going to talk specifically in this session about some strategies and benefits. But first, I do want to ensure that everyone understands this is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Trading does involve significant risks. You're responsible for your own decisions. So let's talk about discretionary trading and algo trading. What are the differences? Now, most of you are probably familiar with the discretionary trading. That's you manually placing trades, manually kind of having gut feelings, maybe deciphering some technical analysis, maybe fundamental analysis, maybe techno fundamentals, which is a combination of the two. Or maybe you just really love the thrill of chasing trades and setting up trades and watching the price action all day. Now, if you are used to that and that's where you're coming from, that's your previous experience, then of course, as you know, that is very subjective. It does require some judgment on your end to make decisions on when to get in, how to get out for a profit, how to get out, when to get out for a loss. It does require you to interpret some of those things and requires your gut feeling, subjective judgment. The other thing is it does give you flexibility. So in very special circumstances, maybe crazy news events that have not really occurred a lot, those are the types of things that you can get into very, very quickly and be very, very flexible. You can adapt to the changing market conditions. The other thing is you can manually execute trades. So you're not waiting for some moving averages. You can mainly get into trades and you're using technical analysis. You're using some kind of tools to help you make decisions on when and where to get in. And of course, it is based on experience. Now, I once had a mentor. I asked him a question about why he took a trade, and his 30-second answer was something to the effect of 12 years of experience. Well, that is very, very hard to teach. How do you have someone with 12 years of experience? Don't you teach someone with little to no experience? That's very, very difficult to say, gut feelings. Well, most of you starting out trading, your gut tells you something, but your gut is based on nothing more than just feelings, right? And a lot of times it's very easy for your feelings to kind of take over and sabotage us. So let's talk a little bit about algo trading. What is it? It is very different than discretionary trading, right? So algo in systematic trading are rules based, which means you no longer have specific reasons or gut feelings. You have very, very specific formulas or systems or strategies that you're executing. The other thing is you are able to automate it because we're not using gut feelings. Maybe they're moving average crossovers. We'll talk a few minutes about different strategies. They can 100% be automated, which of course, as you all know, automating things makes it much faster, get into trades much quicker, and you're able to take advantage of price action, but it also gives you a fourth benefit, which you are able to back test and optimize. What does that mean? Well, you can take a strategy, code it, and then you can go back in time and see how well that strategy would have performed in different market environments. And even as much as maybe altering the strategy a little bit in certain situations, and you're able to optimize it. So imagine maybe every strategy has a dozen settings for risk and profit target and some settings that you can go back in time, run some tests on and optimize so that you're able to see how well things would have worked in certain environments. And of course, that does kind of help you with your data-driven analysis. Now, my software company that I previously owned for 14 years, Google was a client of mine. Google hired my company the very next year. Amazon hired my company to do some work for them, and they flew us out to their headquarters. And Google introduced me to this idea of data-driven decision making. So, as you guys know, in large companies, it's very common for a manager to make decisions based on what he thinks or gut feelings. And they said, no, 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 we're not going to use gut feelings. We're going to use data to prove our point. We're going to use data to make decisions. And that's basically what we're doing in this same environment here. We're doing this in algo or bot or systematic trading. So just a quick recap. Discretionary trading, of course, is for traders who prefer flexibility and enjoy analyzing the markets in real time. right? Make decisions kind of on the fly. Algo or systematic traders are very disciplined, very rule-based, very system-driven, and you are able to automate those. You cannot automate discretionary trading because you're not consistent. You're more of a creative type. I do have two daughters. They are 22 and 23. One is very creative. She is a songwriter in Nashville, Tennessee, and she loves the creative. She would be more of a discretionary, right? My other daughter is very, very analytical, and she has more of an engineering mind, and she would be more of the systematic trader, right? There's not one better than the other. They're two very different things. And in this case, the systematic trading is kind of what I gravitate to, being more of an engineering minded. Most of you who are engineering minded know what I mean. Now, I will tell you that let's talk for a sec about algo versus AI. Most AI trading platforms don't actually use AI. They use it as clickbait in their marketing. Well, how could you know? Well, you can ask, how exactly does the technology implement AI, artificial intelligence, or machine learning? And for those of you who aren't familiar with machine learning is basically the software. You run some data points over the software, and the software will morph and change a little bit. It'll adapt, and it will quote unquote learn certain patterns. You can teach it, right? And so most of the time, when you ask about this, the sales guy doesn't really know, but he's just repeating what he's been told. It ends up being like a clickbait marketing keyword. How do I know? Well, one of the most popular platforms is TradingView for charting, right? It's beautiful web-based charting. And a lot of people, if you search for indicators on TradingView, it'll say AI this, AI that. Guess what? They don't support artificial intelligence. So just because I add the keyword AI in front of something doesn't automatically make it artificial intelligence. Now, why would someone even want to do that? Well, as you guys know, it is a very hot topic right now. So it gets me lots of extra clicks. It gets me lots of people looking for this, even if you're not actually providing artificial intelligence or machine learning or some kind of systematic type of system other than moving average crossovers or some of the basic strategies we'll talk about in just a sec. Okay. So just because it says AI does not mean it's actually AI, especially when they're built on platforms that don't even support AI like TradingView. There's tons of questions, comments that are out there on the internet about people talking about, hey, TradingView should support AI. Why is it so far behind everyone else? And then ask yourself, how in the world can I have an AI indicator on TradingView if TradingView doesn't actually support AI? That is my point, right? How is that even possible? Now, you guys have probably seen this YouTube ad or YouTube clickbait that says, hey, ChatGPT made me 19,000 and change profit, right? You guys have probably seen that had like 3, 4, 5 million views. Guess what? Clickbait. If you look at the actual video, it's not an actual profit. It's a back test. What's the difference between a back test and real profit? Like 19,000% real profit. Obviously, even with something as small like $100 investment could yield a big result. The difference is the back test is more like making $50,000 of monopoly money versus 50,000 of real money in real estate, right? Two very different things. It's not that the monopoly money doesn't have value, but it's certainly not worth $50,000 of fake money. Obviously, there's things you can learn playing the game of Monopoly. That's not my point. My point is there's a difference between profit in a back test and profit in the real world. Now, let's talk about why I really, really like bot and algo trading. Number one is it absolutely eliminates human emotion. Now, for those of you who are very emotional, my creative daughter, extreme highs, extreme lows on ups and downs, and that's just, that's human nature at times, right? But it eliminates that. The other thing is, of course, it is very efficient, very fast. You do have the ability to back test strategies. Have you guys ever jumped into a brand new strategy that your cousin or your friend showed you? You jumped right into it because they showed you 2 or 3 times. It would have made a lot of money. You jump right into it and you learn. Guess what? Those are probably the only 2 or 3 times. Those examples they showed you were the only times it actually made money, and it lost money the entire rest of the time. Now, what I do, I have a more refined process now, being in this game for many years, is I'm going to look at a back test of how well the strategy performs. I will not put any real money into something that I haven't first studied, and we'll talk about a back test in our next session. but also things like optimizing strategies. Remember, each bot, each strategy has about a dozen different settings that you can optimize. It does allow you to scale pretty easily. So if you go from maybe a $5,000 account to a 10, 15, 20, even two, $300,000 account, you are able to scale that pretty easily with bot trading. And then you're, of course, minimize human error. So those accidental mistakes, if you accidentally order the wrong quantity, you put your order in wrong, your stop loss, you forget a stop loss, or you somehow typo your order, right? It minimizes all that because it's pre-calculated and it doesn't make mistakes, right? The other thing is it does provide that data-driven decision-making, which I love. And then, of course, you can execute even simple or even super complex strategies if they're automated. Even something like a trailing stop, if you are trying to manually babysit a trade, you have to sit in front of your computer and manually move your stops. Well, in this case, if you're not babysitting, you're automating it, moving the stop can be done pretty easily with bots, right? You can easily move your stop. Now, obviously, that would be built into the overall strategy. You wouldn't just have a bot that all it does is move your trading stop, your trailing stop. That would be silly. But let's talk a little about the benefits. So all those things we were just talking about, of course, you can be more disciplined. You can execute trades faster with confidence, and you can improve on your strategies. And then, of course, you can trade across multiple markets, right? So just like technical analysis, if you're looking at a chart for crypto, the chart, what you're reading on the technical analysis can also translate into stock charts, also futures charts, right? It can cross multiple markets, including forex. The other thing is you can be very precise about where exactly you're going to get in, where exactly you're going to execute your trades to get in. Of course, getting into the trade and then getting out for a loss if it moves against you, or getting out for a gain if it moves in your direction. But it's giving more reliable results, right? So, of course, if I'm manually entering trades, maybe I am a little slow in getting my order in and I get skipped and price action moves in my direction, but I didn't get my order in quick enough, right? Those are the kinds of things that bot trading, the benefits that bot trading or algo trading can provide. And of course, you do have that more things like your advanced trading methods that you're able to use. So let's talk a little bit about platforms. Okay. So most popular one, of course, is MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. I believe they have somewhere in the 7, 8, 9 million customers worldwide using MetaTrader 4 or 5. Back in, I want to say March of 2024, they pretty much said, hey, we don't want US customers located in the US. We don't want you anymore. And there is a huge exodus, it's all over the news for quite some time in this space, going back months ago. And so my company actually had spent 18 months building technology on MetaTrader 5, and we were literally given 24 hours notice saying everything we built no longer is going to work as of tomorrow. 24 hours notice for 18 months of work, just going down the tubes, having to go back to the drawing board was a pretty significant kind of punch to the face. It is what it is. Welcome to the real world. You got to put your big boy pants on and keep going. So what we did is we actually migrated to NinjaTrader 8, which is what we're currently using. And there's other platforms. I don't know every possible platform that allows automation, but Trade IDs is another one that I have heard of and played with a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about the algo strategies. So what are some strategies that you can automate? So things like trend following, breakouts, reversals, moving averages, even volume-based strategies, you're able to automate those. But the key is they have to be rule-based. Why? Well, you can't say, my gut says buy right here. You can't really automate that, right? It's just not possible to automate. So let's do a quick recap. We did talk a little bit about discretionary versus systematic trading. If most people start out with discretionary and end up in systematic trading, if they're more the engineering minded, otherwise you kind of stay with the discretionary trading. Those of you who are more of the creative types. We did talk about what is algo trading. We kind of defined it, some of the benefits. And then of course, don't fall for the AI titles. It's usually clickbait or marketing hype. We did talk a little bit about the different algo or bot platforms and then some different strategies as well. In my next video, which I'll link here in a little bit, in our next video, we're going to talk about getting started with your very first trading bot inside of NinjaTrader. I hope to see you in the second session. Thanks.